Hello, everyone. I'm back with my next panel discussion with my panelists. So we have Simon Desjardins, who is the co-founder and MD of Shortlist Professionals. We have Adewale Yusuf, who is co-founder and CEO of Talent QL, and Puneet Sharma, who is entrepreneur in residence at Startup Rezo, who will be moderating the session. They'll be talking more about talent capital, building for tomorrow. So over to you guys.
Thank you, Jagrati. Thank you. So a lot has changed in last 2 years, and especially on the talent side as well, the way people have started to work. So, and we're running late, gentlemen. So let's start with Simon. So what does Shortlist do a little about your company and you?
Thanks, Puneet. Hi, everybody. So Shortlist, as you may know, is a talent company that does both executive search across Africa and Asia, as well as implement large-scale, what we call talent drives, or large-scale youth employment programs on behalf of governments and large corporates, multilaterals, and others. We've been operating since 2015, so about 6-year-old business with offices in both Kenya and India. Great to be here.
Thank you. And yes, Adewale. So what is Talent QL?
So thank you so much. So Talent Cure, we focus on technical talent. We help companies from every part of the world get the best talent from Africa. For now, we focus on Africa. So and we've been able to work with talent from Nigeria, from Kenya, from and Ghana and Rwanda. And also beyond that, we have one of our products that is called Art School Africa. Our goal is to be able to reach like 1 million Africans, train and skill 1 million Africans in the next 5 years. And now the program is Pan Africa, and already we're giving people skills as well. We're giving them a degree. So we started with diploma. We partner with university, so we'll be issuing you diploma degree in software engineering, and you don't need to have a background at all to join this program. Thank you.
Awesome. So now you both gentlemen make it very perfect because you've been there seeing this domain. So my question is, we start with you, Simon. So what are the changing trends about talent in Africa that you see?
Thanks, Puneet. Yeah, there are many, and I bet many folks who are in this call now will resonate with this. But two that I would call out. One is the trend towards diversity hiring. So we're working with a whole range of clients, from venture-backed businesses that are scaling rapidly to much larger corporates that have been established here for many years. And across the board, we are getting an increasing number of requests for a more diverse workforce and a more diverse talent pool. And so we're working actively with our clients to bring in more female candidates, folks with disability backgrounds, people who also just think differently, come from different sort of schools of thought, different culture backgrounds. So we're thinking about diversity quite broadly, not just in terms of gender, but in terms of skill sets, culture, background, ability, etc. The other one, of course, and I'm sure many of you will have seen this, is the trend towards distributed workforces. And what's interesting here is that we're all familiar with working from home, but this goes beyond that. We're working with an increasing number of clients who want to build their teams in other countries. So if we're working with a client that is based here in Kenya, is looking to build a tech team, we're actually helping many build that tech team in different parts of Africa and in India and in locations where ultimately the best talent for that function sits. It's no longer necessary that that individual is based within proximity of the employer. So moving towards distributed workforces and pushing towards diversity.
So diversity and distributed workforce. Adewale, what do you have to say here on how the shift is happening?
So, I mean, this is the future of work, and something I always tell people, and why we are betting on what we are betting on is Africa is ready. You understand? People are ready, and to skill, we have over 300 million people to give skills or to give opportunity in Africa, and these people, four wall of school can actually train them. You understand? Can't skill them because in Africa, I have an argument like we need skill more than education. So if skills now come in partnership with education, I think it's brilliant, and that's the opportunity we are providing from Art School Africa. So now with mobile phone, people will be able to get their degree in remote area in different places. And from the data we've gathered since we launched last week, it's been amazing where we see the traffic coming from. Then also people we employed, we give people with contract of like $80,000 that someone living in Mombasa, someone living in Oyo State, someone. These are people now working with different company globally. So we actually believe this is the future. This is the way to go to scale the future. And for the first time in the history of the world, this is the first time Africa has opportunity to actually compete globally. And that's thanks to the internet. And that's the future I'm seeing. That's the future I'm betting on. And that's the future that we are going to play in.
Awesome. So, like both of you are entrepreneurs here, and both of you help other entrepreneurs to hire right. So, and with more investment now starting to flow in the continent. So, what are your thoughts on sourcing talent when it comes to scaling ventures in Africa? So, we'll start again with the two side.
Sure. I mean, again, there are so many different strategies we work with clients around, but one of the ones I would call out is the ability to use technology in really practical ways to source and screen talent more effectively. We're moving away from an old world of the CV-based hiring, where it was basically tell me what you have done on this piece of paper that really doesn't predict performance, to a world of show me what you can do. And so moving towards a world where we can have candidates demonstrate their abilities and potential in real time, customized to a particular job and particular employer, as opposed to these generic CVs that are being sent out where nobody has time to go through. So we're now in a position when Shortlist has screened over 1.5 million people across the world on our platform. Many times, particularly for large corporates or for more generic positions, we receive over 1,000 applicants for a single job. Now, if you're trying to select the best out of a stack of CVs of 1,000 people, good luck. But now we're using technology that we have built that enables competency-based assessments to be used to assess actual potential to do a job incredibly well, and that is irrespective of whether you come from a fancy background or blue chip companies on your CV, or whether you come from a fancy school. It's meant to democratize and help make the hiring process much more objective and equitable for people who are applying for the first time.
And when you talk about this talent, so and what category is this talent? So is it like tech talent, or I mean, other aspects of the talent?
Yeah, we work across both technology talent as well as more commercial talent, and working again at the mass scale at the entry level. So putting thousands of young people into their first job. And then the other side of Shortlist is to work at the executive search side of things, where we're placing a smaller number of much more senior leaders into more senior positions across Africa.
Okay. So I move on to the next question, and Adewale, this is for you. So what are the challenges you see in attracting and retaining the right talent for a business? And like how opportunities often overlook the potential of youth and women in the continent?
Okay, so since COVID started, the demand for talent, especially I will be speaking for my own industry, which is the tech, which is mostly software engineers. So the demand for this talent has been crazy, and it's global talent now, global need. So, for example, before it was mostly a lot of startups, a lot of tech companies that is focusing on hiring developers. But now a lot of traditional companies discover that you have to get software engineers. So it's now, for example, let's look at company like Toyota or some of these big global companies, Tesla. They are competing for the same talent that a local company is competing for. So we're seeing a lot of drain from different startups, and we see it's getting very hard to retain some of these talents as well. So, and that's some of the reason. But we are also working with some of our clients to make sure we find the best way to retain this talent. Are they comfortable? What are the other things that you can use? Because some of these talent really want to build their career out as well. So, those are some of the ways we are working with companies to retain this talent. Retainership, especially in our industry, is difficult. You understand? When you see developers, if you see a developer spend like a year, 2 years with a company, you have to actually give kudos to the talent. Like, but now we are finding a better way. We are also developing some solutions, some tech solutions to help you understand your talent. When is this talent going to churn? How is this talent going to churn? Why would the talent even churn in the first place? And those are some of the things we are helping with some of our clients as well. And just to mention quickly about how we search. So searching, sourcing for the talent now, we have different technology we are using, but we notice where people are failing. A lot of people are failing with data structure and algorithm. And we've been thinking like, how can we do like some training, some special training for some of these people to just upgrade them. And we're trying to work with some of the big companies now. We are currently in talk with the likes of Microsoft to just upskill because the demand for talent is a global mess. Everyone is looking for solution.
Okay, so has it created more avenues now? What is it that you see? More avenues for talent from outside? People looking for talent in Africa from the outside of the continent?
Okay, is that for me? So yeah. So people are looking everywhere. For example, we have an African company now that we are trying to get talent from India. You understand? And because also they are trying to expand their operations to India as well because they are a big company. But Africa, so the growth of talent, especially software developer in Africa, is not that long. Everything started like 5, 10 years ago, not up to 10 years. So now, and that's why we are launching something like Hot School. We need to focus on supply. But a market like India has been focusing on the supply for a while, so they have excess of this supply. So we now look at what can we do to create more supply, and that's why we also is training at scale, and that's why we are training at scale, decentralize and democratize this knowledge, so people can tap into it. Also, people can convert from whatever they're doing to this opportunity because there are a lot of unemployment in Nigeria alone. We have the 3% unemployment. Why don't
So we lost Adewale there.
It happens. The technology.
So yeah, technology. I'll move on to the next one. Simon, this one's for you. So we're talking about talent and opportunities, but we can't keep aside entrepreneurship there. So what do you see? What is the potential for youth entrepreneurs to transform economies in Africa? I mean, there is a massive startup India mission which was launched by our prime minister here, and the theme was around why entrepreneurship, because to push to be a job creator. So yes, that is where. How do you? What's the potential of young entrepreneurs and how they can create more jobs in Africa?
Yeah, I mean, I think you would expect everybody on this call to say, yes, there's a huge opportunity for entrepreneurship. I would say that in the world of talent, and hopefully this resonates with people listening in, the world of recruitment, that is a mature industry. It's antiquated. It's broken. And I think many folks still don't realize the extent to which this industry is broken and requires new solutions, and where the current sort of CV-based in-person interview hiring process is no longer relevant in many cases, and is totally inadequate if you're looking to hire from a global talent pool. So I think and it's one of the reasons we set up Shortlist 6 years ago, and continue to be incredibly bullish about the opportunity for entrepreneurship to disrupt the way that talent is matched with opportunity. And certainly, it's great to see the work that Adewale and others are doing, not just to help place talent, but also to upskill talent in ways that are scalable and digital. So we're incredibly excited. I think it's the question is also to the candidates and the talent out there, where I think a lot of the talent doesn't realize that they are also being disrupted, and they are also now competing with a global talent pool. If you're sitting in Cape Town, you're now competing with somebody in Lagos. And if you're sitting in Lagos, you're probably competing for many jobs with somebody sitting in Nairobi or Mumbai. And when we speak to top talent, I think people are only beginning to understand the extent to which the talent playing field has leveled. And then for many jobs that can be done remotely, there's no advantage for you as such being based in a particular country. The only differentiator is how good are you at that job. That's what's going to get you the job.
So with more, though opportunity is larger, but I think now everything is local. So even the competition is tougher now.
Correct. So it's both an amazing opportunity for best-in-class talent to now access jobs in countries and markets they never would have thought possible in the past. But it's also harder for talent that isn't at the top of their game to compete against folks that are now globalized. So it's or in other markets. So it's both an opportunity as well as a challenge. And I think the key is to be aware of that and to make sure if you're on the talent side of things, if you're a job seeker, the importance of constantly learning through platforms like the one Adewale has built and others to make sure that if you are interviewing for a job, you can actually demonstrate that you're not just best in class in a particular country, but in a particular function and market globally.
Yeah. So on the same thought now, like the world has the job market has become local, especially post COVID. So you're talking about how the recruitment system is broken. So are we seeing any opportunities there? Like how are people reimagining and rebuilding systems for recruiting talent?
Yeah, I mean, I talked a bit about this already, but I'd reemphasize the importance of technology to assess people and assess talent in more objective ways, and ensuring that when you're, the old way of assessing talent was very much, theoretical questions that were very much hinged and ripe for bias based on which school you went to and whether you have a blue chip company on your CV or not. Whereas I think that the world, what we're building at Shortlist and elsewhere with recruitment technology enables us to look at the objective ability of somebody in a very unbiased way. Can somebody be a great customer service rep? Can we then test that ability of customer service and verbal communication and skills needed to perform on the job in real time? And if you can demonstrate those abilities in real time, then I don't really care, what school you went to or what grade you got in, 12th form math. It does not predict performance, and so that's what's exciting to us is that we're moving towards a much more unbiased, objective way of assessing talent and matching talent with opportunity, away from this old CV world. So that at Shortlist, that's what we've been building for the last 6 years, and excited to see where the next 6 will take us.
Yeah, I've noted the line which you earlier mentioned, because the world has moved away from what you've done in the past based hiring to what you can show me what you can do based hiring.
Correct.
So we lost. I had a question for Adewale, but we lost him again. So I think that's a wrap in terms of the questions I had that I wanted to ask. I'll open it up to the audience if people in the audience want to ask anything. Unfortunately, we're losing Adewale again and again because of his connections.
Thanks, Puneet. Thanks, Simon. So we are open for questions. So anyone in the audience has a question for the panelist can either raise their hands. I'll just pull them on the stage, and if not, then you can put it on the chat section.
I probably have time for maybe one question that I got to bounce because I think we're over time. So maybe we can help this conference move back on schedule if there's anybody up.
I see a comment that says, "Can I speak on behalf of Adewale?"
I have a question here from Tam. What do you think be critical skills for young people to connect to corporates?
Maybe I'll take that and then sign out. It's a great question. I think that the first thing to look at is what are you interested in doing? You wouldn't believe how many job seekers we speak to when you ask them what you want to do, they kind of say I'm open to everything. And so if you've got a good sense of what you're interested in and what potential jobs would be exciting to you, then do your research online around what skills are needed to perform in that job. And then work backwards from there. It really depends on the job that you're looking for. But there's a ton of information. Like if you want a career in product, there's a ton of great videos on YouTube that just explain what our product manager or product analyst jobs or interviews like. What skills do you need? So my advice would be to hone in on what's interesting and exciting to you, and then work backwards and do some desk research around what you need to learn to get there. Um, hope that helps, and thanks so much. Puneet. I've got to bounce, unfortunately, but great to have been part of this. Thanks everybody for joining. And Adewale, I'm passing the virtual baton to you.
Thanks. Thanks. My network is so terrible today. Just traveling. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Simon, for joining. I think we can take a last question for you, Adewale,
Okay.
and then we can jump on to the next panel. So what about jobs or profiles that needs capacity building in person and extensive coaching, especially in Africa?
So some of the things we are trying to do in that is we are trying to build into our own program. We're trying to build what we call community pairing learning, which means can we do a community pairing? Can we do a location-based learning format in the sense that if you need someone, if you need if you need a talent somewhere and someone else that can coach is there, can we match these people? Can they find a way to meet? And apart from that, we have some of our clients that eventually we build our team for, that we build team for in Lagos, for example, and we have people where they will hire engineering manager and they will hire other seniors, junior engineers, and all of them will find time to be meeting once in a while in Lagos, either in our office or in a remote place. So those are some of the ways we are solving problems. But now, when you look at technology, everything is remote. So why don't education, coaching, why don't we get all these things remote as well? And that's what we're definitely just campaigning for, and that's what we are actually champion because we believe this is the future. This is the future of work. This is the future of education, and this is the future in general.
Thank you, Adiwale. I think that was well articulated. So yeah, you can find Yusuf around, so maybe you can just chat with him. So not wasting much of time. Thank you so much, Puneet. Thank you so much, Yusuf, for joining us for the panel discussion and for sharing those insights. So we'll move on to the next session, which is again an interesting one where we'll be having a case study from Orange Innovation and two partnering startups. So stay tuned, I'll get them here and we can then jump on the session. Okay, so I'll be right
Thank you,
back.
Jagati. Thank you, Adewale.
Thank you,
Bye.
guys.